and welcome to the Precision National Sports Sedan Series 2023 Winton Raceway. It's wet, it's cold, it's Melbourne weather. We don't know what we're going to get. The king is back, Tony Ricciardello, going against the young gun, Jordan Caruso, the 2022 champion. It's going to be insane. This is going to be the most awesome year for sports sedans. Get around it. Practice one was a damp track, and the guys really struggled for grip, but Tony came out on top with Jordan Caruso second, and the TA2 driver, Josh Haynes, in third in the Mustang, so that's a fantastic result.
How you going? Tony Ricciardello here, back in the sports sedan, so I'm an oldie but a goodie.
And what was it like? This is your first real hit out in the car in, 3 years?
Yeah, so we finished up the 2019 season at Sandown after a few engine issues. We won the championship, which was good. So had a bit of time out, and this morning the car was, we're on wets, and it was on a slick track. So look, it was fine. Made a few little mistakes here and there, but that's expected. Because I'm trying to push it a little bit as well. Have a crack in practice. If we're going to make mistakes, I'll do it then. But also, later in the second practice, we fitted the Kumos for the first time and tried to give it a longer run and see what the balance was like. So look, good to be back, and everyone's welcomed us, the team back, and really well. And just one of those things. Good to be back.
With the drying track, it was Jordan that laid down the fastest time, with Tony and Josh following close behind. And Steve Tomasi put in a great time over 1 minute 22 to hold fourth place. So it was looking pretty cool.
G'day, I'm Tim Tritton. I race the Honda Prelude here at Winton this weekend. And this weekend we're trying to chase a bit of speed, a bit of car setup. We've had a few problems with the setup, and just we change a few things each time we go out, and just seeing how we go.
Whoa, qualifying Jordan, Tony, Steve and Josh, with Jarvis sitting in fifth. It's going to be good.
Hi, Steve Lacey here in our Camaro down here at Winton for round 3 of the State Series, New South Wales, and round 1 of the National Series. We were down here a bit earlier this year, which was good. We got a bit of a feel for the track, so made it an opportunity to get straight onto it when we got here yesterday. We had a few issues with the transmission, which meant a total rebuild in between the 2 practice sessions, and we're a bit late getting out there, but still got on track and very happy with the results. So went out today, did qualifying, which rolled in at 7th, which we're looking forward to getting out there and having a go at the race.
Alright, well, my name's Travis Condon, and I'm running this sports sedan which I've slowly built up over time. It's a Toyota Corolla, old KE70. It's the last of the rear wheel drives, and it's now LS powered. So we've got a 6-speed sequential dog box in it from Moynahan Engineering, and we've got a Race Products 9-inch rear end which Kevin from DK Race built for us. And we've just had a massive passion for motorsport for our whole life, and getting the opportunity now to actually follow through and do something.
racing cars, sports sedans was going through a little bit of a lull sort of 7 or 8 years ago, but everyone spoke about the heyday of sports sedans in, you know, the 70s, 80s, 90s, and Ricciardello in that Alpha has been around since the heyday, and that car has been around too. So
you can't mention those days without Tom Randall's dad, Dean Randall, who was out there. Darren Hossack used to race out there in sports sedan. Des Wall was another name. It's just been some of the great racing that's been there. Sports sedan's just been so critical in Australian motorsport. But this will be race number 1 for the National Sports Sedan Series, and your series leader sits on pole position in Jordan Caruso. He is exceptionally quick, a 1:18. They're 19.7 or 1:18.7. We'll get there eventually on pole position. Tony Ricciardello starts alongside him. Steve Tomasi on position number 3. Josh Haynes in position number 4. Back to row 3, Ashley Jarvis, Ryan Humfrey, Stephen Lacey, Barol Seton, Alex Williams and Michael Robinson, another Victorian in the Bell Real Estate entry. He'll start out of position number 10. Daniel Nolan there in 11. Willem Fercher in 12th. Scotty Cameron. Jason Compton there in row number 7. Then we see Nick Smith, Anthony Cox, Tim Tritton, Cameron McKee, Ben Mannix and Glenn Pro rounding out row number 10.
So, to give you a bit of an idea of speed, with an 18.7, that puts you 6th in S5000, only about 7 or 8 tenths off pole. S5000, I mean, look, don't let the bodies fool you in most of these cars. The underneath really is not a firewall and a normal car. These are built for speed, and they're not much slower than what they were a long time ago. So
a bit messy on the rolling start here. A lot of cars caught out further back. Side by side they're supposed to be. We look for the red light to go out. Is the starter happy? Yes, we are. We're racing in the National Sports Sedan Series. Race number 1. Making our way down to turn 1. It looked like Tony Ricciardello was there. If he holds on to it, that position, he may well have the lead here. The West Aussie racing with so much speed in his Alpha. Number 5, Tony Ricciardello is holding on there. It's Stentor, Ricciardello, Caruso. What a start by Stentor.
Elbows was certainly out there for Ricciardello. He had the motor off the line compared to Caruso, and I think he knew based off the lap time difference, and he had to get the job done and stay in front and hopefully just block that fast Audi through the race.
Yeah, so Ricciardello is your race leader. From Caruso, Haynes, Tomasi, another name that's well known in Victorian motorsport. Jarvis, Lacey and Williams in P number 8.
Interesting as well, you see this amazing little Fiat with the 20B rotor making its way through the field. Former TCR Australia driver Brad Shields, very, very talented operator. Again, family history in sports sedans with his old man, and he had an issue in qualifying where the car did not run, and Brad will be making his way through, as you can see. Super fast driver, quick car, and he'll be interesting to watch how quickly he can get back to the front. He's down in 16th at the moment. He's already made up 8 spots off the start.
Just having a bit of a timing issue there. Ricciardello will look like he was dropping down the order. He's not. He still leads this race. So you can see our leader's pole on the left. That is in order. Ricciardello, you can tell that with the red and yellow stripes on his Alpha. Sits in position number 1. He's won so many races over the journey. It's good to see him back in sports sedans. Jordan Caruso, your series leader. He's well clear at the moment of Steve Tomasi as we move into this round as well.
How cool does that thing look? I mean, he's cracked the code, hasn't he? He's made an Alpha reliable by putting a different engine in it. So, cracking car, lots of power, massive track, good downforce. You can see how stiff they run them. It's bouncing everywhere, but as soon as he hits the gas pedal, that thing lights up off the corner. It is so fast.
It'll be interesting to see their times start to drop throughout the course of this race. There was a 1:18.7 we mentioned before in qualifying. The race lap record here is a 1:19.8, so we know they've got the pace in quali trim. But will they have the pace in the race? And that race lap record was held by Jack Perkins back in 2016. So Ricciardello crosses the start-finish line again. 10 laps remaining for Ricciardello, Caruso, Haynes, Tomasi, Jarvis, Lacey, Williams, Seton, Nolan, and Robinson in the Bell Real Estate entry. He sits inside the top 10.
Now, with the speed of Caruso in qualifying, he had sort of 7 or 8 tenths on Ricciardello there. I wonder if that takes a little bit of time for that car to get going, because at the moment, Ricciardello's opened up nearly 2 seconds. And as we speak, like he was listening, he's gone purple, so fastest of anyone out of the first sector in that in that Audi, and there is plenty of time left to go in this race to really heat up. So this will be an interesting watch.
He took a big chunk out, didn't he, at the end of that first sector? A couple of tenths, and the gap 1.7 seconds. That's what we're going to watch between first and second at the moment. Oh no, is that Camilleri?
Yep, in that VRVS Commodore. Hopefully that's not exploding and leaving a heap of oil for everyone.
So Scotty Cameron, I know the name. There's Cameron there. Sorry, I said the wrong name. So he's unfortunately going to be out of this race. He'll be pulling back into pit lane, and we'll have
Looks
to
like
clear.
could be a tyre.
Yeah, it was that right rear where the smoke's coming from.
Has he lost a tyre? Yeah, you can actually look at the
the
look at the guard there.
The whole rear.
Something's happened there. We got V8 supercar guru and legend just walked into the commentary box. Jason Bargwan. You might know something about that.
Look at the entire rear end. For that left rear, is the whole rear end swung across. It's now rubbing. So that's broken away massively on the Cameron entry.
To put it technically, the rear end has fallen out of the car.
So it'll be crabbing, I think you'd say. You're trying to drive that back.
Yeah.
So you can see it, the right-hand rear just popping out. So that whole rear end has basically lost its mounting points.
Well, the worst part for this is that that's going to ruin a tyre. You're going to need a new tyre as well moving forward. So that's an unfortunate incident there. Luckily for the field and for all the other categories, it's not oil like I first thought. So
when you saw that right rear, when you saw the smoke from the rear, but then when we got a closer look, that's all right. He's away. The track is clean and they can keep racing. And Ricciardello has gone and responded now to the challenge being put down by Caruso. A 1:19.9 last lap around from Caruso. Ricciardello fastest of all to the first sector with a 24.3. So responding to the challenge with 9 laps remaining is Tony Ricciardello.
And how crucial was that move off the start to hold that Alpha around the outside of turn 1 to get the inside for turn 2 and make your way down the road. I think he knew that going in. That was the opportunity, which could potentially even be the race if Ricciardello goes fastest, quickly followed by Caruso, faster by about a tenth. These guys are so close together, which is amazing, isn't it? These are literally home-built cars, totally different styles, and they're within half a tenth while doing ridiculous lap times.
The drivers up the front, I know what you mean when you say home-built cars, but the quality of engineering under these front cars is incredible when you get up close, particularly the Ricciardello entry. That car has been developed and developed and developed, not over years, over decades.
Yeah, well, the shed in his house must be different to the shed at my house. So,
well, he certainly hasn't put it together in my garage, I can tell you. That's mainly because I don't have one. I've only got a carport.
I got a 2-car. It's nice. It's good.
So race 1 leaderboard there up on screen. Ricciardello, Caruso, Haynes and Tomasi. That's the order. As we're seeing Shields making his way up into another position, up into number 8. Shields, you mentioned him earlier, up 16 spots in this race.
Yep, excellent work, Bradley. Like I say, I mean, I've known Brad for a long time. He's a great talent. Had some good experiences over the last few years racing TCR Carrera Cup. You can see he's finding the car. He's not just dawdling past the back markers. He's having a go. He's getting the car up on the torches, tipping it in, getting the wheel work happening. And in a car like that, you can see how stiff and low it is.
I was going to say, you don't really think of Fiat when you think of sports sedan, do you?
No. There's plenty of acronyms that go with Fiat, right? So this is breaking all of them at the moment. So yeah, it's good to see a car like that, so unique, which is only in sports sedan.
Have a new race lap record here for sports sedans at Winton. Well done, Caruso, Jordan Caruso, the Victorian. He now has the new race lap record with a 1:19.4.
Rapid.
So well done. A nearly 7-year-old record there by Jack Perkins.
Now, was that in the same car that Caruso's in? Because that was in another Audi, wasn't it?
That was it. Actually, good. How's your memory? I don't know if it was the same car. That's the question we'll follow up. But we've got Jason Bargwana, our fonts of knowledge. He says yes,
He's
it
nodding
was.
his head in the background.
So the car takes its own record, just with a different driver.
There you go. Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd, mate. I don't get up too much. Cars, sleep, repeat. Bit of eating.
So we're looking at that number 1, Jordan Caruso. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Can he knock over that 1:19.4? The gap down to 1.2 seconds now.
Well, if you look at the sectors, he certainly can lower that because Ricciardello's got better in the first sector than that. So, how good is this? Ricciardello's gone under the previous lap record just then, which was then reset by Caruso. So these guys are pushing so hard. They're not worried about conserving tyres for later in the weekend.
So Caruso just lost a bit of time there in that final sector, maybe trying to push a bit hard to get up onto the rear of Ricciardello. 6 laps remaining, or just under 6 laps remaining. Ricciardello, Caruso, Haynes, Tomasi and Jarvis still your top 5.
As we've got a car stopped on the track and he's exiting stage left pretty quickly. That could mean fire, unfortunately.
Nick Smith out of New South Wales, and this will be brought back under control by race control. We're looking to our screens at the moment, but a car stopped in that position, which is Nick Smith, who started the race out of position number 15.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that fire's going. He'll have the fire extinguisher.
Pull the cord out, mate.
Yeah, we need to get our officials across to that pretty quickly. Race control will be seeing this one on their screens right now.
He's trying to do it himself with the extinguisher. He needs to do a runner.
Yeah, so yellow flags are out. Safety car now heading out on track. So this one will be back under control. They need to get it under control. Their marshals point they're onto it. Fire vehicle just about to pull up on camera now. We can see it from our commentary box. There's the race safe team getting out to help here. The driver now. Many of our drivers in national sports sedans, they own these cars as well. They're not professional drivers. They're drivers that own their vehicles. So this is becoming quite expensive. We've got our fire marshals on site. So great to see, and well done to all of our volunteer officials as we get this one
He's
under
done an
control.
amazing job there to actually open his own bonnet to get the extinguisher in there. But
well, the challenge here as well, you don't really want to open it up when you don't have fire extinguishers nearby.
Oh, I mean, you don't want to be there at all, really.
So, good opportunity to thank all of our volunteer firefighters that are out on track, our track marshals, flag marshals, comms loop. So many people that volunteer their time, Josh, and I know you as a driver really appreciate all of their efforts, but for those of you watching on Stan Sport that are officials, because a lot of them watch when we're not in Queensland or New South Wales, thank you for your service, because we don't have much of a sport without you.
Yeah, look, I mean, the word gets thrown around, right? But they're the real heroes of our event. I mean, we don't race unless we have the people willing to do those jobs that you do take for granted. I mean, waving a flag at a flag point can be critical, and you know, the information you get from flag points, from the volunteers, can change your weekend sometimes. So the job that those guys and girls do, both at the posts, on the fireys, the medics, everyone above, they do a fantastic job.
Now, looking at this, race control will get this one under control. They've got to get the fire under control first, which looks like they've done that right now. We'll get this one back underway. We've still got 5 laps remaining. I'd imagine we'll go one more lap getting this cleaned up. They'll be able to retrieve the car quite clearly. There's a number of spots here at Winton where you can get the car out of the way, and we'll get this race back underway, I'm hoping.
Yeah, well, we've got the tow truck on its way out there. We've got the Hyundai i30N sedan safety car just overseeing things. And
well, what this sets up, though, Josh, is the gap at the front
is now zero.
Zero. It is going to be Tony Ricciardello and Jordan Caruso toe-to-toe with a couple of laps remaining.
Yeah.
If you've got a minute now, go to the fridge, grab yourself a drink and nestle into the couch, because this will be a ripping race to the flag.
Well, and this is not your regular safety car period where there's someone off in the weeds and you're warming your tyres up for the majority of the lap. There's a significant portion of the lap here where, particularly on a section that is good for warming your tyres up, where you have to go very slow past the car that's obviously in some strife. So tyres are going to be cold. We've seen that Ricciardello's willing to hang the thing on the line to get the job done. Is Caruso willing to do the same?
Well, he took longer to get his tyres up to temp, didn't he? At the beginning of this race, it took him an extra lap longer than Ricciardello did Jordan Caruso to get the tyres up to temperature. He's starting out of second position, so he needs to get into position ahead of Ricciardello before the sweeper almost. He really needs to get in by probably turn 4. And if he hasn't got the move done there, I say it's advantage Ricciardello at that point.
Yeah. I mean, all you can do from there, with how wide and fast and big these cars are, is put the scoreboard pressure on, stay in the mirrors, and hope for a mistake. I think it'll be on in that opening lap, so hopefully we can get underway, and even if it is that one-lap dash to the finish, it'll be very entertaining.
Sun's out here at Winton. I did say it was sunny in Winton. It just took a little bit longer for the sun to arrive.
It turned up.
High-Tech Oils Race Winton. It's just wonderful to be back here. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in on Stan Sport to watch all the racing. A packed schedule Give us a bit of a rundown on your session in TCR as well earlier today. How'd you go?
It was good. I qualified third, probably a little bit further up than what I thought I would, just based off the compensation weight that I carry from pole at Phillip Island last round. So I've got 40 kilos of the finest Bunnings lead you can fit into a Hyundai sedan. So which is quite an amount more than anyone else in the field. So
I call basically my off season my success ballast.
Your bulking diet.
Yeah, my bulk.
Yeah.
I'll just never cut. That's the only problem.
Well, I'm trying to cut, but they keep throwing these kilos at me. I don't know what to do with them. So we're off third. My teammates just in second in front of me, and then Michael Clemente in his brand new Cupra, who can do no wrong, is off the pole. So excellent work by those guys. I thought I did a pretty good job, and they still beat me. So they must have done well.
General track condition out there at Winton as well?
Pretty good, mate. It was very average yesterday for the first session. Very slippery. We all came in complaining. Well, particularly I always complain, but came in complaining the car was rubbish. It's not turning. It's not stopping. It's not going. Rob, fix it. What are you doing, mate? There we go. Hyundai safety car. What a machine. Heated seats, heated steering wheel. Oh,
you know, in commentary, I know you're wearing Hyundai all over you. You've got Hyundai all over you, but we're supposed to.
Oh, do I?
Oh, shock horror, hey? No, it's good to see the Hyundai safety car, and thank you to Hyundai for being involved yet again. That car hopefully doesn't lead too many laps or too many races today.
Well, hopefully it does, just in its TCR format, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes, for you. We'll be staying impartial as commentators as we see the safety car making its way.
Just seen, look at the inside of the exit of that corner. There is oil everywhere. So there'll be a cleanup following this as well, and I'm hearing that we may be finishing under safety car, unfortunately. So
that'll be because of the track cleanup you just identified. The oil out on track, not safe to continue. So good pick up there. This one will be finishing under safety car. We're on our last lap at the moment. So unfortunately, we don't get the grandstand finishing we were hoping for, but it was the right call by race control. With that oil you saw in the back there at those hairpin turns, the iconic Winton hairpins. Lots of different names for that part of the circuit that people use from all over the country, but the right call by race control. We want to make sure we've got a good, safe track surface to be able to race under or on.
Yeah, exactly. What this does do, though, is makes you certainly want to tune in for race 2 on Stan and see these guys go at it for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's tantalising, isn't it? These two at the front. It looked like Caruso at the end of qualifying was the fastest car and may not be touched in race trim. But Ricciardello, you just never can count him out, can you? So much speed, so much experience from the West Aussie, and just love that Alpha. And as we said before, he knows how to drive it the quick way around any circuit he turns up on. But ladies and gentlemen, the end of race number 1 for National Sports Sedan Series, and it is Tony Ricciardello who takes out our first race for Sports Sedans here at Winton as part of the High-Tech Oils Race Winton. Second place, Jordan Caruso. He was the pole man and just got jumped there at the start of the race. The safety car came out, which meant he wasn't able to have another shot at the stumps. But Haynes is there in third, Tomasi fourth, Jarvis, Lacey, Shields. What a drive from Brad Shields. Up into 7th place by the end of that race. Incredible drive.
Yeah, I expect nothing less from Bradley. I'll go and tell him that he should have made the top 5. So, great drive. And he's a contender. Don't count him out for the rest of the weekend. He's now in a position where you can attack the rest of the guys in front of you and potentially bring home a trophy.
We look further back down the order there. Anthony Cox, Willem Fercher there in 12th, Tim Tritton in 13th, Jason Compton, Mark Dungen in 15th, Ben Maddox there in 16th, Glenn Pro, Cameron McKee, Travis Condon and Rod Moynahan back in 20th place. We look further back down the order. Graham Smith in the Waste Pro entry out of position number 21, and then quite a few DNFs there. Nick Smith, who brought out that safety car in the event.
Yeah, well, I'm Rod Moynahan from New South Wales, Car 89 Sports Sedans, running the mighty Monaro, as Rand calls it in the past, so that's his tagline now. It's been a fantastic weekend already. Just went out for practice 1, just
a little bit of water on the track, so it was testing. We'll put that behind us and we'll get on for a really good weekend, I think. Just lucky and happy to be out racing. All my mates are here, team Win Mallee Car Care. Come with a bunch of good mates, close mates, a whole bunch of other mates that sort of we race with that we only sort of see on race weekends, and yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
OMG, race 2, insane. Jordan Caruso stuck throttle. Tony Ricciardello, broken diff. Stephen Tomasi went off on Ryan Humfrey's mud that he brought back on in turn 1, and that's the end of his weekend. Josh Haynes won the damn race. Insane.
I'm Josh Haynes, I race the TA2 Muscle Car Series. I've been given the opportunity from Phil and the whole team to race the Performance Tower High Mustang. Really cool to be down here this weekend, racing against some really quick cars. It's a big field, a lot of people with a lot of experience. So yeah, it's a really cool opportunity and I'm loving every second of it.
Unfortunately, that win cost Josh a motor, so he blew the motor up on the final lap and coasted over the line for that win. So he was out for race 3, a terrible end to an awesome opening round with Sports Sedans.
Hey, I'm Jordan Caruso, driving the Oakor Property Developments Audi this weekend at Winton.
I see, Mr. Caruso, you have a number 1 on your car. Can you tell us about last season in Sports Sedans?
Yeah, so last year we were able to win the championship. Looks pretty good with the number 1 on it, I think. We've got a few more cars this year, so Tony's back. So hopefully it'll be a bit more competitive up the front, so looking forward to that.
And you've come hot off winning a sim title. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so it was the Porsche Esports Super Cup. So it's a world championship on iRacing. Pretty much all I've done over the past 6 months was preparing for that. So glad that that's over. A lot of the stress has been taken away and now I can sort of just enjoy this.
And I suppose the obvious question is, how much does the sim racing and the real racing, not to say but the real life racing, do they work together? How does that sort of fit?
I think in some ways they definitely overlap. Even when the specific driving techniques don't necessarily overlap from sim to real life, I think a lot of the feelings that you get during races, like the pressure you put on yourself, racecraft, things like that, I think so. Even when the driving techniques don't necessarily transfer, I think a lot of it has helped me and probably made me a better driver in the real world.
Awesome. So, what are your goals for this year in Sports Sedans and also in your sim racing career?
With Sports Sedans, I guess it'd be nice to win the championship again. I think it's a lot of fun driving the car, so I'm keen to go to the track, see everyone, just have a good, enjoyable year. But obviously, the goal would be to win the championship again. In terms of sim racing, I haven't really planned it out too much. So whatever opportunities come up in series that I can do on iRacing or other sims, I'm keen to do that.
For the National Sports Sedans, this is race number 3. This will be 12 laps of journey. Let's have a look at the official starting grid for race 3 of the National Sports Sedan Series. This is their first round of the year here at Winton. So Ashley Jarvis and Michael Robinson start on the front row of the grid. Beryl Seton and Willem Fercher start on row 2. Mark Dungen, Scotty Cameron, who had that rear end issue yesterday, well, he's made his way back into the top 6. Daniel Nolan in 7th, Ben Mannix in 8th, Glenn Pro and Travis Condon round out the 5th row.
Anthony Cox from 11, Cameron McGee from 12, and further down the grid, more interestingly enough, we've got Jordan Caruso, who was in the lead right up after the start of race number 2. Yeah, went straight at turn 1 and basically sprayed it, and now he's got to start right from the back. So.
He's last year's champion. The 2022 champion is Jordan Caruso, number 1 on the side of the door, and he's hoping to get this year off to a flyer. Getting in position 18 after race number 2 is not helping that championship. But what is helping him, or that series win I should say, what's helping him is if you look further back down the order behind Stephen Lacey and Stephen Tomasi, Tony Ricciardello. He was our winner of the first race this weekend. He's starting out at position 22. And our driver of the race yesterday in race 1, Brad Shields, also had drama through that second race, and he starts out of position 23.
Yeah, I spoke too soon about the Ricciardello car. They had issues through that race. Hopefully it's fixed up and we're good to go for a start here.
Race 3, the final race for the National Sports Sedans here. Their first round, High-Tech Oil Winton, or Race Winton I should say. Rolling start, cars in position, a bit messy at the back. Red light on, are the starters happy? Yes they are, and we're away and racing. Jarvis, Robinson, Sedans and Fercher, 2-3 wide down into turn 1. It could get messy as they trip over each other. A lot of the fast cars further back in this field. Nice and clean.
Round the car goes there.
Good pick up. I was just about to say nice and clean. Commentators curse, and we've got one around in the background just on the exit of turn 2. We'll stay with the racing at the moment and see whether that car can get itself moving again. I can see him reversing back off screen. He should be back out on track. And there we are, Scotty Cameron. He's back up and racing, so we can keep this one green. Jarvis, Robinson, Sedans and Dungen, your top 4 as we set off on the first of 12 laps.
Caruso there up the inside. He's already made up 9, make it 10 positions on the opening half a lap. So he's getting into his work nice and early. These cars on the opening lap would be so difficult to tame. There's so much power. The tyres are a hard compound to put up with the loads these cars create. So getting them up to temperature is very, very challenging, but apparently not for Jordan Caruso in the Audi.
So Caruso up into 7th now, up 11 spots. We're watching for the move of Ricciardello as well. For those of you that have been watching on NatSoft, which is where you get all your timing information and want to know what happened in race 2, well, the update for you all is Caruso had a throttle jam open. The team thought it was a butterfly nut that may have been digested by the engine. So that was what happened with Caruso. Haynes, who was your race winner in race 2, and Josh, off air, you were talking about what happened to him. Well, he coasted over the line, dead engine, he is out of the race.
Yeah.
He won it, but he had to coast over the line for that one as we watch Ricciardello make his way through the field. Ricciardello up into 11. He's chasing off after Caruso, who's inside the top 5.
And Shields right behind him. Those guys were having a bit of a tussle on camera just before when you were mentioning the issues from race number 2 that we had earlier. Those guys have made up equal amounts of spots. A little bit more power in that Alpha, so it makes it a little bit easier to gain some positions, but those two are slicing their way through the field nicely.
So some of the others, Lacey, who's up 6 spots at the moment, sitting in 13th, actually had a tyre come off the rim. Shields was tagged by Williams and cut a tyre. It was on through there. We'll get through them all very shortly. We'll stay with Ricciardello. He retired last race with a broken CV. And look at where he's at the moment. Ricciardello's up inside what is the top 8 right now, as Caruso's now into the top 4.
Don't think Sports Sedans is just a bunch of quick cars that come past each other and there's nothing going on. There is so much going on through the field right now. Particularly this charge from Jordan Caruso up to P3 and looking likely to make his way right to the front. We'll stay with that car there. He looks like he's going to make it into second under brakes. Massive dive. Loads of confidence in that car. Pulls it up. Excellent move.
So he's off after Jarvis now. Caruso through on Robinson. The 44 up the road. So Caruso and Robinson are used to racing each other as Ricciardello now makes his way through and he's edging ever closer to Caruso.
Yeah,
good to see him back again. So I was just mentioning before, Ricciardello a mainstay back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, 2010s. Tony Ricciardello, synonymous with sports sedan racing.
Yeah, you can never count him out. That car's had a lot of years of development. It's come in many iterations and it's won a lot of sports sedan races and championships. So you can guarantee that he'll be pumped up to get back to the front of the field where that car normally is.
This looks like a move for the race lead down into turn 10. Caruso looks to the inside. Jarvis gives him room. And Caruso, what a drive. He's got himself back into the race lead on lap 3 of 12. So we've got 9 and an incremental amount of a lap, essentially 1 corner remaining in this race. Ricciardello, he should have that move done on Sedans very shortly. But Caruso got through 17 spots in under 3 laps.
That's not bad, is it? You'd take that, wouldn't you? Fairly efficient, and they weren't all gimmies. I mean, a lot of those moves, he threw the car in from a mile back. So I think a lot of the guys, it's a pretty tight-knit community as the sports sedans one. They would have known that there's some quick cars coming through, and once you see that silhouette of those synonymous cars. Yeah, as soon as they go to the inside and look to break late.
Look at that, great drive. Ricciardello hooked it up out of turn 4 through the sweeper. He's made his way up into 3rd spot now. Tony Ricciardello. He's looking at the 44 of Jarvis in 2nd. He'll be there about shortly. Caruso needs to gap as much as he can because Ricciardello will be coming. 9 laps remaining in this race. We see the West Aussie on screen right now and he's Alfa Romeo.
19 positions.
So as we settle this race down, let's have a look at a replay of the rolling start, and it got very willing into turn 1. Remember, our faster cars were a lot further back. Scotty Cameron, and look for him, he'll be further back in the, there he is, just getting offloaded to drivers right there. He managed to get back up and running, and Scotty Cameron is sitting. Where's he at the moment? I'm seeing him on my tie. He's back in 20th place now off that start.
It's like he just got caught up on the curb on the inside and it spat the car sideways, and here was a move for the lead. Nicely done into the new section of circuit that we mentioned yesterday. Fairly traditional move there. Jarvis made it rather easy.
I think he left the door wide open and went, you're much quicker than me. You go and have that one. As now he's got to worry about Tony Ricciardello in his mirrors very shortly. So the gap between Ricciardello and Caruso, because that's where the battle really for this race is going to lie, is at 7.9 seconds. It looks like, Ricciardello's through now on Jarvis. So Tony Ricciardello now into 2nd. He's got 7.1 seconds to catch up to Caruso up the road. Caruso has the fastest car from qualifying, is what we saw in qualifying with Caruso, the fastest car there. Ricciardello able to get the race 1 win. Unfortunately, both of them suffered those dramas in race number 2, but there he is, Ricciardello in 2nd. 7.1 seconds, we'll monitor that gap. Let's look at the rest of the order behind them. Jarvis still holds down 3rd spot. Robinson, the Victorian, in the Bell Real Estate entry out of position number 4. Seton holds down 5th, and look at Shields. He's up 17 spots as well into the top 6 now.
Yeah, excellent drive by Brad there. They haven't had much luck this weekend with that car. It's actually normally quite a reliable package, so unfortunate weekend for them. But we got Ricciardello rolling down the order there.
No, that's just he has a timing issue. We've been seeing that, so don't worry. No. It's a transponder issue for Tony Ricciardello, and he'll keep popping up and down our timing order. He is fine out on track at the moment. There he is on your screen. Shields up into 6, as we mentioned before. 17 spots up the order. So a bit of movement going on further down the order. But we'll keep an eye on it. Caruso, Ricciardello, Jarvis, Robinson set in the top 5. The gap 7.3. Caruso is actually putting even more time into Tony Ricciardello at the moment and maintaining that very comfortable lead in this race at half race distance.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the gap does now that the two quick cars are in clear air. They can run their own show, and obviously Ricciardello will see the Audi about length of that little back straight in front. He'll want to start to take some ground out, hopefully. Chances of catching him within the 6 laps are pretty slim, but you want to start to set some good times so that, you know, at the next round, you've got an idea of where you're at.
There was Jarvis just on screen before. He holds down the final spot on the podium. He's got a comfortable gap at the moment. 4.5 seconds between himself and Robinson. And Shields the man on the move. He's inside the top 5 now, so he got through on Seton. And Shields inside the top 5. That's Ricciardello. He sits in 2nd place at the moment. As I mentioned before, the National Sports Sedan Series is their first round of the season 2023. And Caruso was last year's champion, last year's series winner. So he's hoping to get as many points as he can. It's going to be 5 rounds this year. Next one is the race at Queensland Raceway on August 4 to 6. Then we go to Sydney, then to Bathurst as part of the Bathurst 1000, October 5 to 8, and finishing off at Gold Coast. So huge calendar when you think about it for the National Sports Sedans. This is a category that was so big in Australian motorsport back in the 70s. Great to see the resurgence of an exceptionally quick category.
Yeah, and you know, for the viewer at home who may not know, this category, as Bradley goes up the inside, as the Commodore's seen him. God, look at how agitated the cars are trying to apply the power, both of them. They have so much horsepower.
That is an incredible drive. He has held round the outside of a hairpin, turn 7, 8 and now 9, and Shield has made his way into the top 4. That was incredible driving to be able to hang on around the outside of Robinson, who is an exceptionally quick driver in his own right.
He probably didn't see the little Fiat there. It's so low to the ground. You stand next to the Fiat, it looks like an open wheeler with how tall it is. It's not very big at all, so probably just didn't see him. But yeah, great work by Brad. Excellent drive. 3 of the top 4 have gained over 15 spots in the race. So
we were talking, you were just mentioning before about the history of this category. It's incredible when you think about it. Trans Am, which is one of the most, well, probably the hottest category in Australian motorsport right now, part of the Shannons Speed Series, and you can only see it on Stan Sport live and ad-free, remember. If you want, and you are out there and you're listening in on any social media platforms, you can get that 7-day free trial as well to watch all the action. But this was also almost the forerunner to that style of racing. It's a space frame, panels hung around the outside. These are purpose-built race cars, and they are so quick. It's all about that power-to-weight ratio as well.
Yeah, you're right. All you're seeing here is just that sort of space frame, body on top, big V8 with slightly less rules than Trans Am, and a little bit more open for interpretation, if you like. And look, it's motor racing, even though there are rules, and very few of them in this category, people still try and push them as much as they can, and that's when you get beasts like these, punching massive numbers, over 800 horsepower in some of these cars, and massive aero like you see.
And that's why, to be honest with you, that's why I'm so excited to see sports sedans back on some big races like this one here at the High Tech Oils Race Winton. It's a category that, as we said, has so much pedigree, so much history, but so much opportunity. Within those regulations, this is an engineer's category. This is the one where they can play, they can tinker, and they can really push some boundaries. And the Caruso entry there is such a quick car. But then you look, there's an Alfa Romeo chasing him down, who's taken... Well, he had taken half a second, Tony Ricciardello. It was down to 6.5, but Caruso's just punched out a very good sector to make sure he's still in control of this race. A 1:20.2 was the fastest lap he's done in Caruso, and a 1:20.4 is the fastest lap Tony Ricciardello's done. But there really is a lot of opportunity for some drivers, teams, engineers to get involved now that we're seeing this category on some big calendars and big events.
Certainly, it's great to see them joining us later in the year on some big events, getting some great coverage. Obviously, you've got Bathurst, where these cars absolutely fly. You can stand at Mountain Straight and down Conrod and watch the bodywork hold on by a tether while they're doing upwards of numbers that'll get you banned normally. So they're extremely quick, amazing machines. As Brad's having...
Oh, no. That's drama. He's out.
What's gone on there?
That looks like... I don't know whether he's had a failure on the front left. There's an issue there. Look at the guard shaking around. Shield, this is unfortunate. What a drive he'd put in to be in the top 4. And he'll be coming straight into the pits. Let's have a look at that front left.
It's interesting, is it? He's still going.
There's a drama. Oh, he's not coming to the pits.
No.
So he's staying out on track. We'll keep an eye, but he's slowed. Let's look at the replay here. Look in the background, Josh. What's that front left? Under brake?
As soon as he's applied the brake, he may have broken something in the front shock or an upright or something like that. That's very strange, but he did go past the start finish. It's going a lot slower, and every time he applies the brake, there is a mountain of smoke coming out. I just saw him from our comms box position. You can see behind.
Is that running almost straight up and down? Has that lost its camber?
Hard to say, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it has. It's broken something there. You can see it standing up tall, that tyre. So something's broken, given way there. And very unfortunate for Brad Shields. We gave him driver of the day for race number 1, and since then it's been nothing but bad luck. We moved back to the race lead. Whoa, there was a bit of a moment in the background there. Looked like it was a big tank slap up.
Hold on, good son.
Yeah, he's through. He's okay. That was the 7 we saw in the background. And that was Condon, who's in 17th place, getting overtaken by your race leader, Caruso. 2 laps remaining. The 22 Series champion, and looking like he's had a charge, up 17 spots. Ricciardello up 20 spots. But 2 drivers that had some bad luck in race number 2 have managed to pull themselves to the front of the grid. Caruso was second in that first race and is on at the moment, 9.7 seconds clear of Tony Ricciardello. And barring a catastrophe, he will go on to be our race 3 winner, getting through Scotty Cameron, who had been turned around at the start of this race, and he's now been lapped. So that's for position, well, that was position 16 getting lapped. See how many more Caruso can get with a lap and a half remaining in this race.
Well, with a win apiece from Caruso and Ricciardello, you would think the points between them are separated by qualifying. Basically, the real winner is Ashley Jarvis, who's going to win the round with 116 points over those two, closely followed by Robinson.
Yep, and then you'll see Sedans is most likely going to come out third for the round as well.
So you can see what a DNF does to you in terms of a three-race weekend. You want to avoid it at all costs. You'd rather finish third or fourth every race and get the car home rather than have a win and a win and potentially have a DNF. Obviously, nothing that those guys can do about the DNF, but it just goes to show that it's not always about the big points hauls. It's about finishing, which will lead to those points hauls. So, yeah, those guys will miss out on the podium for the round, even though they've dominated the proceedings.
So we're on the final lap now. Making his way into the sweeper is Caruso on board his Audi. What a great drive he's put in so far. And he'll continue on this lap. So just to remind you as well, Jarvis, who sits in third in this race, is on for the points win and will be your series leader as we leave here at the end of round one for the National Sports Sedan Series. Second for the round, second in the series will be Michael Robinson, the Victorian, 99 points, and third will be Beryl Seton, although Duggan's moving up the order, so we'll keep an eye on that as they finish off this race. Your race leader, race 3 for the National Sports Sedans, the final time we'll see them out on track this weekend at High Tech Oil's Race Winton as part of the Shannons Speed Series. He was last year's series winner. He had bad luck in race number 2. Up 17 spots, Jordan Caruso wins race 3 for the National Sports Sedan Series here at the Shannon Speed Series, round 4 in Winton. Well done to Jordan Caruso, and an incredible drive by Tony Ricciardello, crosses the line in second. But save your applause for your round winner and your series leader, who will finish third on the podium. And that is Jarvis in the 44 entry. Congratulations. That's a great drive. And again, showing consistency is key to building a series. Well, I guess you'd say if he's got any aspirations to be the series winner, he started it off the best way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty comprehensive in terms of the racing wins between Caruso and Ricciardello, but you have to finish. You need to collect those points, and that's exactly what Ashley Jarvis has done. So well done leading a series like Sports Sedan, as prestigious as it is on the scale it's now back to, is certainly a fantastic thing to have on the record.
Let's get the official results of race 3 for the National Sports Sedan Series. Jordan Caruso, he takes out the final race and his first race win of season 2023. Tony Ricciardello, he's in second. Great to see him back here. Hopefully we'll see him at the rest of the rounds this year. Ashley Jarvis, your round winner, series leader. He finishes third in race 3. Michael Robinson, great job by the Victorian there in fourth. Beryl Seton, he's in fifth. Mark Duggan, Anthony Cox, Willem Fercher inside the top 8. Stephen Lacey and Alex Williams round out the top 10.
Moving forward from there, Ryan Humfrey in 11. Brad Shields obviously having that issue, limping the car to the line, but still being classified. So great points there as we look further down. Daniel Nolan, a DNF, unfortunately, in that car there. Bit of a rough weekend for them as well.
So we saw DNFs for Tim Tritton, Jason Compton, Glenn Pro, and Stephen Tomasi didn't even start that race. He was a DNS, didn't get out onto the grid for Stephen Tomasi.
No, that was really
No
good.
red flags, all that sort of stuff.
That was intense.
How'd your boy do? Number 1?
Our boy.
Our boy.
Our boy.
Your
Our boy.
You're our boy. The boy?
Toyota 86, racing for New South Wales Sports Sedans. We're running second in the championship, so we're excited to be here as the joint round. We'd like to finish the round, which will be the main objective. Of course, we'll qualify best we can, but like to stay out of trouble for the whole weekend. So that's our target.
Well, I suppose this weekend, besides it being a national round, is a New South Wales round as well, so points are important for you against the New South Wales guys, aren't they?
Absolutely, and I mean for the last round at Eastern Creek, we were third on track and with 1 lap to go and we destroyed a clutch. So to come away from here with no points would be pretty tough for the championship. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. All good. I nearly threw it away too. I looked back right in front for as long as I could. Got it back in, and then for the next 11 laps, going down the main straight, and things on. I'm like, oh no! I'll take it.
Unreal. Yeah, g'day Rand. Ryan Humfrey, WA, Team Race Mods. Old XE Falcon Sports Sedan. Got the crew, Mum and Rob busy getting some of the mud off. She was a bit wet and wild out there, so we survived. So we just having fun.
And so you've made the trek all the way across from Western Australia, which I think is already commendable. And this is a bit of, and I know you're a humble fella, but this is a bit of a hero car from Western Australia. The boys back there get behind you. Can you tell us a bit about the history of the car?
Yeah, we don't have as many sports sedans as these big field, 29 cars. How awesome is this? So yeah, we're getting better. This is my first ever road car. Bought it ex-dog kennel. Literally had to kick the dog out and put an interior in it. Drove that around for TAFE and all that, and then just slowly started doing some track days. Seen guys driving on track and said, what are they doing? And had a bit of a crack, and it's just evolved. And really, sports sedan's sort of the natural evolution for someone who's just not really following a rule book to start with, and that's where she's ended up. Wasn't like a lot of these cars thought of, planned out, but here she is.
So and I mean this in the nicest possible way, is it a bit of a Frankenstein's monster, like, so to speak?
Of course it is. Yeah, everything's been done 10 times on it. Put these bars on and think, no, I don't like them, chop them all off, put different ones on, and just having a hack. We're just learning from trial and error. We're all new to all this, but it's more the experience for us. Just getting out there, racing these things with these guys is just such an awesome experience. So just doing what we can. We're trying to try and do the whole national series. See how we're going with holidays from work and keeping the car going and the budget and everything like that, but that's the plan, that's the goal.
Exciting.